Nice. Hello and welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Hopefully the volume's all good. We are back with Turbo Depths. This is a deck that I played yesterday with Wes Wolf, a local Depths player. You can find him at twitch.tv/Wes Wolf. He is a Legacy streamer as well. This is of course Turbo Depths, so this is probably the fastest variant of the Dark Depths combo in Legacy. You might have seen it in Legacy lands or in the slower builds with Mox Diamond. There's also a few green-white versions that run around, and also Maverick. Maverick does splash the Depths package sometimes, and it usually works out as a kind of backdoor win, which is kind of cool. But yeah, really excited to play this deck again. I do have it in paper. I think I have a lot to learn with the deck. Even little things like when to use Petal over Elvish Spirit Guide or vice versa. How often you should leave up the combo or try to build out your board, or even disrupt your opponent with something like Thoughtseize or Inquisition or Duress. So a lot of the play to the deck, which is nice. I think it's a really rewarding deck as well for actually putting some time and effort into it. So that should be pretty sweet. This is just a stock list from Tom Hepp, of course, the Master of Depths, who was fortunate enough to join us yesterday. The only change that I made was a Sylvan Library in the board over the third Mindbreak Trap. This is just a little change by Wolf that he really liked, and I'm a massive fan of Sylvan Library, so that should be pretty cool as well. I'm just going to move this. There we go. I'm just going to go straight into a league. There's not too much to talk about here. The list is pretty stock. You should definitely check out Tom Hepp as well if you're looking for more Depths content. I will have this on YouTube, and I already have my other piece going up on YouTube from yesterday, which is cool. Let's do this. It should be pretty fun. It's nice for a Monday as well. Pretty chill. In before 5 Storm decks. Yeah, that would be a little bit rough. Depth's not too bad against some of the combo decks because you do have hand disruption in game 1. You do have a pretty fast combo yourself, so sometimes you can race. You also have things like Karakas and Bajuka Bog, which can really help, especially at instant speed of Crop Rotation or Elvish Spirit Guide, which is pretty sweet. Whew. I have a really bad habit about forgetting my coffee when I stream, so luckily it hasn't gone cold yet. But yeah, we had some interesting games yesterday, and there was a really good case of where we should have used a Lotus Petal on the field and kept an Elvish Spirit Guide in our hand. Because our opponent played a game where they green sunned for 3, and we thought they might be trying to bluff Collector Oof, so we cracked the Lotus Petal, which meant we had to use the green in main phase, which didn't really play around a Karakas in play and what we were trying to achieve with the turn, so that was a little bit rough, but it's alright. So this is a really interesting hand because we have a turn 1 Duress. We also have Needleful Wasteland, which is pretty good. So we have a pretty nice start for the deck. We have one piece of the combo in Deathspin stage, and then we have a Crop Rotation. The one thing we don't have in this hand is a green source, which kind of sucks, but if we're going turn 1 Urborg, turn 2 Thespian stage, we have 2 draw steps to actually draw into a green source to combo turn 3, which is pretty nice because then we also have Knight of this World to actually protect it. So I think this is good. Is Turbo Depths still fighting the fair fight? I think it is. I think this is still a pretty fair way to win Magic when it comes to Legacy. And this hand is really good. I'm going to keep this. I like that it has, interaction, it has the combo, and it also has protection. I'm not sure what my opponent's on. If I knew they were on a Wasteland deck, there's some merit to going turn 1 Urborg, Pixie Needle, Wasteland. But I kind of like just going for Duress here, just to see what my opponent's on. Get some information. See what we're playing against. Ooh, okay. So this is going to be against lands, which is pretty rough. The turn 1 Wasteland would have been nice, but we can see here they have probably just a turn 1 Wasteland. I'm going to take the Sylvan Library. There's some merit to taking the Gamble or the Life in the Loam, but yeah, the Ghost Quarter and Wasteland are kind of awkward. But we do have some play around to it with crop. We can go and get Bajuka Bog, which can take care of the loam. Really here it's between Sylvan Library and Gamble. And because we don't have a great way in the main deck to deal with Sylvan Library, I'm going to take that. We're not playing Abrupt Decay. And Gamble, to some extent, can be neutered by Bajuka Bog. So it's going to be Sylvan Library. I kind of hope my opponent draws a red source in either a fetch land or a jewel, so they gamble instead of wastelanding us. Ghost gets out green at least? Yeah, that's very true. Oh, interesting. They're going to allow us to untap. Huh. Wow. Okay, we're definitely casting the Lotus Petal. Because now what we can do is we can cast the Needle, and if they do nothing, we can name Wasteland. But if they do something, then we can actually crop this away, which is kind of nice. Oh, it's just going to resolve. That's pretty interesting as well. We're definitely naming Wasteland. I guess because they have the Ghost Quarter, they're not too much in a rush. Play the stage. This is an interesting one. Because we know about Ghost Quarter, maybe I want to play the Caracas here instead of the stage and hold the stage for now. This seems like a really interesting matchup. Lands obviously has a pretty nice plethora of ways to deal with the combo. Okay. But no pass from my opponent. A second stage is interesting. What I can do is copy Ghost Quarter to try to kind of force them to use it. There's a fetch. They're going to gamble first. Interesting. Maybe they're gambling for another piece of interaction like Caracas. This does mean they're not going for Loam here, unless they gamble for something like Mox Diamond. There's Port. Interesting. So I think here I'm happy to try to copy the Ghost Quarter with Thespian Stage. We have a second copy, which is really nice, and we also have Pedal in case they do try to Ghost Quarter us as well. They're going to allow that to happen. That's really interesting. Another stage. Okay. Is there any reason here why I want to Ghost Quarter them first? Or should I just play the stage out and then hold up the combo with crop rotation? I feel like it's fine to play the stage. Especially if they untap, then loam back Ghost Quarter. That could be a little bit rough. The one thing that Turbo... Oh, they have Caracas. That isn't too bad because we do have the Not of This World. So they played a land for turn. Okay. So I feel like we're covered here because we get to do some pretty cool things. So here we get to Ghost Quarter the Ghost Quarter. In response, they probably Ghost Quarter our Thespian Stage. We then get to crop rotate away the Caracas for Dark Depths, and then we have the Nod of this World for the Caracas. Oh, was it? I know that Maverick won the challenge, which is very cool, but I didn't know who they were, and I'm trying to find out who they are. So here we're going to... I guess they could have crop rotation, but... So the issue here is that if I... Is there a... I'm trying to think of a way that I can play around crop rotation into Wasteland. So if I crop rotate now, they could Ghost Quarter the Thespian stage in response to the crop rotation, which leaves me kind of bummed. But then I get to copy with Ghost Quarter, which is interesting. Or copy with Thespian stage. Yeah, I guess Maze is a little bit of an issue. Is there a reason not to give them the Ghost Quarter? Because I pretty much have 2 Thespian stage here. So I think what I want to do is crop first. Maybe there's not a way to play around it. Oh, you won the Oh, today was the Mox challenge? Ah, very cool. A huge congrats. That's really cool. Oh, they didn't find anything? Okay. Crop away Caracas. Go and get Dark Depths. And then copy this. Keep the copy. They're gonna try to Caracas it, but we have none of this world, which is really nice. Nice. Okay, that's very cool. So there was a time there where I was trying to play around crop rotation off the forest that comes from the Ghost Quarter, but they didn't have it because the forest is in their hands. So that tells us that they only have one basic forest in the deck, which I think is pretty usual. So the stream with Wolf was really nice, thank you. Hey DW Donut, welcome. Wombo Combo, that's awesome. A huge congrats. How did you find the matchups that you played in? I think for this matchup, I do like ley lines. I do like the force negations, and I do like surgical. I think we can go pretty heavily down on the hand disruption, especially on the draw. It's not like I can even take something like a turn 1 exploration. I don't know how much there is. So I think what I want to achieve with my sideboarding is instead of attacking their hand, I want to be able to answer the things in play. So maybe there's some merit to Abrupt Decay. We do have 2 slots. Collector Oof does turn off Mox Diamond, but I think it's more important to not turn off our Lotus Petals. Trap doesn't do anything. Sylvan Library is interesting. So is Sylvan Safekeeper, but they only have the Caracas that I really care about, and I probably rather not at this world than that. I'm going to bring in 1 Decay and 1 Library. And then if they do bring in a lot more permanents, like Tireless Tracker or something is like an aggressive way to win another way, then I might bring in the other Decay. It's interesting as well, maybe I don't want all my Dark Depths. Maybe I want to kind of rely on their Dark Depths to go off, but I think because this is our main way to win, I kind of have to rely on having the full 4 in the deck. This is an interesting hand. It's pretty much going to answer for everything. So Leyline and Surgical is a little bit rough, but you know it's got it's kind of rags for riches. We do have Thespian Stage into Pithy Needle. We don't have any other colored mana. I think because we have Leyline, it just slows them down so much, turning off Life in the Loam and punishing fire to some extent, that I'm going to keep this. It is a little bit risky with the mana that we currently have, but I think that's going to be okay. Hey Damo, welcome. Well, there's Wasteland. Sylvan Scrying, that's interesting. I kind of don't want to play out my land. Is that crazy? I'd much rather see if they do like a turn 2, like tap out turn 2 for Sylvan Library, and then we can play this Thespian Stage protected, because If we play stage and cast Needle, I 100% assure you they're going to wasteland us. Okay. Well, now we'll be going to discard anyway, so... Oh wow, they didn't. Maybe that means they have some sort of answer in hand. I guess Force of Vigor would be very good for my opponent here. Being able to hit both Leyline and Pithing Needle. Thespian Stage. Interesting. Okay. Another Sylvan Scrying. Rough. Just gonna have to pass here. Maybe the keep wasn't that great. Maybe I should have thought about, you know, actually having a plan as well, because although this hand was quite reactive, it didn't have a plan, which is pretty tough. This is an interesting one, and I feel like I have to name Thespian Stage, so my opponent can't just go off with Dark Depths maybe the following turn. We do have a force to force our own Needle if needed, if we do want to go off, so I don't mind that. It does slow down my opponent, and there's not another great name for Needle here. I'm not too afraid of Ghost Quarter because I kind of want the green source. Karakas does work pretty well here, but we do have Not of This World for Karakas as well, and I'm pretty far away from the combos, so see how this plays out. That's fine. Bajuka Bog. Okay, that is a source of mana. End step's interesting. So one thing my opponent could have done is that in response to the Pithing Needle on Thespian Stage, they could have used their own Thespian Stage to turn it into like a Field of the Dead, which is pretty good. It means that I have to name what the Thespian Stage is a copy of if I want to stop this one in particular, but if they play another Thespian Stage, then it doesn't stop those. We can't do anything here. Another crop is pretty rough. I think you would just have to go to discard. Opponent getting pretty close to just field here, which is pretty bad for us. Another Needle. I guess it's worth naming Port here. And then just passing. This is going to be a tough one to get out of. Pedal, okay, that's interesting. I think here I'm pretty happy just to scrying. For a Bayou. Play the Bayou. And then scrying for Dark Depths. And then hope to draw into a Not of This World. Looks like opponent's going for crop. Okay. If they have a removal spell for the Pith Needle, okay, they're just getting another land to try to zombie us out. Unfortunately, just not a fast start for us, and that's where we're going to really fall behind against lanes, because now we're playing their game, and obviously we're the worst mid-range deck. They most likely have Punishing Fire. Yeah, we can't do anything here, unfortunately. Just a little bit too slow on the draw. Maybe that'll change come post-board. Maybe there's a world where I do want some amount of hand disruption on the play. I'm going to take out the decay. I'm going to keep in the forces. Maybe even just one force. I mean, that game, they didn't have anything that we could hit, which is pretty rough. I kind of like Inquisition here. I don't think we need to get Thoughtseize, but I can't think of anything that they would play that I would need to get Thoughtseize for instead of Inquisition. There's Crop Rotation, Exploration. Hey Ziggy MTG, a huge thank you for the raid. What did you just play on stream? Hey everyone from Ziggy's stream. My name is Dukes on Twitch. I stream Legacy, usually Maverick, but we're streaming Green Black Depths today. And just thinking about the post board against lands. We're going into game 3, and I'm thinking of Inquisition over Thoughtseize, because I don't think there's anything that we care about that Thoughtseize can get that Inquisition can't. Like Experimental Frenzy is a pretty niche card. I think it's mainly, you know, Exploration, Life in a Loam, Punishing Fire perhaps. I'm pretty happy with this. Love to play first. This is an interesting hand, and I think I'm okay with it. We have one part of the combo. We have Graveyard Hate. We have a way to stop Wasteland, which is really nice. I think I'm okay to keep this. I'm gonna go for Bajuka Bog, sorry, for Bayou here, and just name Wasteland turn 1 with Needle. We get a little bit blown out by like a Mox Diamond Port start, but I think that's okay. We also have open crop rotation if it's needed, but right now it's not. Exploration's gonna be good here. Caracas. Okay. There's like a little mosquito here, and it's just bugging around. Oh, Urborg. Okay. Gonna play Urborg and then play out Spirit Guide, Elvish Reclaimer, sorry. first main stage. Maze, okay. 2 great answers to Dark Depths here. Loam is fine. We get a surgical this. They don't currently have white mana open, which is green mana, sorry, which is quite nice. We also get to see their hand here. But they only have okay, so they only have a loam in hand. Okay. Let's see their library. Tabernacle, Crows and Grip, interesting. Sylvan Library. Okay, 2 Reclaimers. I didn't need to pay life, yeah. Hopefully that doesn't come up. Bayou, okay. So I can play the Depths out, but it doesn't do a whole lot. They can currently try to cast it as well, or copy it with the Thespian stage. This is pretty interesting. I could turn on the Elvish Reclaimer now by taking out the Mazavith, which is probably okay. I want to make this a 3/4 and start beating down, so I'm going to do this now preemptively. We're going to get Ghost Quarter and we're going to hit the Mazavith. They already have the Forest in play as well, so I don't believe they have another one. I guess they could just draw into their own Dark Depths, but we can always hope not. Spirit Guide, interesting. There is a world here where I just cast the second Spirit Guide as a creature. It does increase the clock, which is kind of nice. Oh no, I just gave them an out. I just gave them the Yep. Yep. I literally just Yep. Yep. No, all good. I was even thinking, do I use the other Spirit Guide here to cast the Spirit Guide? Yep. That is pretty bad. This is a really nice hand. This is turn 2 Hexmage with Dark Depths with turn 1 Inquisition or Duress. I'm gonna keep this. No, that's just like it's just again just one of those tunnel vision aspects of Magic where you have a line and then you realize what it's actually going to achieve. But I even said to myself a few turns earlier, don't play Dark Depths, they have stage, but I didn't say it out loud. Chat removes itself from stream. Rough. Pretty happy here though. Yeah, we talked about state. Yeah, exactly. At least here we also can double hand disruption if we really want to. Okay. This is pretty interesting. We're definitely taking the Burning Wish, but is there a case for taking Cabal Ritual? Probably not. There's probably a case for taking LED in case they draw into Echo. I'm probably happy trading this pedal with LED. yeah, these are the really fast starts you can just get with the deck, thankfully. And we were luckily enough to have the Inquisition and Duress there, because there's even a world where our opponent doesn't actually play anything that defines their deck before we get to sideboard. I do like traps. I don't mind the forces, and I don't mind Oof. I don't think I want Surgical or Leyline. As much as Leyline turns off Echo and Surgical is nice with hand disruption, I think there's probably better things to be doing. I don't mind one Not of This World in case they have Chain of Vapor. Hey Slasher, a huge thank you for the follow. It was Tess. It was definitely Tess because it was playing Burning Wish in the main deck. Molder 5 into 2 discard feels bad. Yeah, 100%. Not Tess? Interesting. It's not Tess, it had Cabal Root. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. It did have Cabal Root. Which, off that hand as well, it couldn't be Belcher because of Gemstone Mine, or Gemstone Cavern. That's an interesting one. I'm going to take out Caracas. I'm going to take out some number of Sylvan Scrying. TinFins style list, okay. Martian Law. Yeah, so not the Epic Storm. Interesting. Needle's interesting because it is quite good for Wishclaw Talisman, but I'm not too sure if they're on it. If it is going to be a different version like TinFins, then I think maybe the Graveyard Hate is worth it. But what's it better than? I do like the fast mana. Sylvan Scrying's okay, but it's probably something like... maybe something like this. This seems okay. We can still power out some of our spells. Ah, okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, okay. Then Caracas is actually pretty nice if they own Griselbrand. I might just go down on the Spirit Guide, let's be honest. Spirit Guide isn't doing too much post-board because a lot of our spells that we want to be casting are black. So, I'm going to see how this goes. And if there is a game 3, we can hopefully see some more of the deck and see how to actually sideboard correctly. This is a pretty bad hand. The 2 lands don't do anything, we can't cast anything. Even the Force doesn't have another blue card to partner with it. So I'm pretty happy to mulligan this. We have Trap, which is really nice. We also have Terminal Inquisition and Unnatural Bog, so I don't mind this. And I'll probably just drop 1 Verdant Catacombs, because there might be a world where Bojuka Bog at sorcery speed is better than Verdant Catacombs. Okay, there's Gemstone Mine. Rite of Flame. Okay. 1 spell. 2 spell. I kind of hope they go for Echo here. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, they're on Doomsday. Interesting. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, that is combo sometimes, and that is probably 2 of the fastest games of Magic I have ever played. The power of Mindbreak Trap is pretty real. Interesting list though, I was also playing Doomsday, which we actually played against a blue-black Reanimator deck that sideboarded into Doomsday, which was pretty tough because we brought in these... We had a game 3 start of double Leyline and they did nothing. Our opponent went Dark Ritual Doomsday and we were like, okay. Ah, Flow-True. Flow-True is usually on Eldrazi, which is interesting. I don't think this is good enough. This is a really reactive hand, and the 3 Urborgs is pretty messed up, so I'm going to mulligan this. This is a bit better. We have the combo and we have fast mana, so I'm going to keep this in bottom of the Bojuka Bog. What is Dice Factory? Yeah, so Dice Factory is a deck that usually plays a bunch of artifacts that get counters on them, and you kind of pump up your deck that way. I'm sure you'll see. Yeah, okay. Elvish Reclaimer, okay, that's pretty interesting. I kind of want a Ghost Quarter here, just to take them off the Ancient Tomb, and I don't think they play a basic, like a waste. How many lotteries should I win before I can buy lands and Legacy? It is an expensive deck, but it is a very cool deck. It's got some nice things going for it. I do want a Ghost Quarter here, but I'm not sure if I want a Ghost Quarter in upkeep. It does mean they have, if they're drawing into a waste, then it's better to take it out of the deck, but also if they play something like Warping Whale, they can then also deal with Elvish Spirit Guide, because my plan here is most likely going to be Ghost Quarter the Ancient Tomb and then play Elvish Spirit Guide off the Elvish Reclaimer off the Elvish Spirit Guide. This is not Maverick, you are 100% correct. We'll see if they have a waste. They don't, okay. I think taking any sort of Ancient Tomb deck off Ancient Tomb is really nice. Inventor's Fair. Surge Node, okay. Surge Node enters the battlefield with 6 charge counters on it. Remove it, put a charge counter on target artifact. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So I guess what we could do here is crop away the Verdant for Dark Depth. Crop away the Verdant. Oh, yeah, okay. What if we yeah. I'm trying to think of a line where we can play Verdant, crack it, get Bayou, crop it away for Urborg, which makes the Elvish Reclaimer a 3/4, which increases our clock. And then we can get Dark Depths off Sylvan Scrying, play it, and then have Thespian Stage online the following turn. That's pretty good. So let's do that. Let's go Bayou. Crop it away for Urborg. 1 exile. Sylvan Scrying. Go and get Dark Depths. Attack with Reclaimer. Hey Brendan. Very well, thank you. Hope you're well. How's your weekend going? It's currently a public holiday here in Australia, which is pretty nice. Good to get some Legacy in. Everflowing Chalice. Okay. Interesting. And no land from our opponent. That's pretty big. I am going to go with Thespian Stage here over Dark Depths. It doesn't really matter, but there might be a line where my opponent somehow... I'd rather have the Dark Depths in hand, because it combos with both Thespian Stage and Hexmage. I have no idea how Australians are supposed to celebrate Queen's birthday. I feel like the Queen would be very appreciative of me playing Green Black Depths on her birthday. Especially the Turbo variant, I feel like she is a fan of that. Alright. Alright. I feel like my opponent's going off without even kind of knowing it. But okay, now we get to have Dark Depths up, which is really nice. And I'm pretty happy just to attack here. Yeah, so I'm not too sure what the payoffs of this deck are. I might after the... I don't know either, and I kind of don't want to spoil it for myself either, so I will check the deck list after. But I know on MTGO Goldfish, you can definitely look up Flow True and find the list there. The thing is here that I'm not too sure if it's correct to make Dark Depths in upkeep to play around Wasteland. It's probably more correct to play around Wasteland than anything else. Make now they have Wasteland. I think, like, if there's one card I am playing around here, it is Wasteland. And if I'm playing around Wasteland, it is correct to make it an upkeep. So, hopefully there's not some sort of counter card that deals with Merit Lage. Four mana. Sacrifice it. Put 2 charge. Okay, so they're going up to 6. Oh, what if they have like Khan and then like something out of the board? Mystic Forge. Okay. That's pretty cool. What do we got? They haven't played a land yet either. Surge Node. Okay, that's fine. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so one thing that maybe I should have been aware of as well is Khan into Ensnaring Bridge. That would be pretty busted. I feel like the Queen could sell a real life Tabernacle to buy a lightly played version of that card. So this seems like a great deck to play these 3 against. I probably also want the Abrupt Decay. Hey, Fine Dorsal, a huge thank you for the tier 1 sub. Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you had a nice weekend. Hope you're enjoying some Green-Black Depths. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? This is probably a deck where I can take out Bojuka Bog. The hand disruption is probably a little bit weak. They might be playing Chalice. Well, they are playing Chalice, Ever-Flowing Chalice, but I'm not too sure if they're going to be playing anything else. Hey, Brendan, thank you very much as well. A huge thank you. I will quickly plug the Green Sun Zenith because Brendan was nice enough to give a Top 8 Legacy Challenge tournament report to the site last week, which you can find here. Nice. You foiled our Depths, Leech Love. I'm going to ask you a real question here, Find Also. Did you get Cold Snap foil Dark Depths, or are we talking about a different Dark Depths foil? I'm going to assume that's the same Brendan. But if not, maybe... Okay, good. Nice. This is 60. Is there anything else that I really want? I think this is it. OG foil or bust. Pretty slow hand, honestly. It's gonna be like a turn 1 Sylvan Scrying for Bojuka, maybe for Urborg to then cast Thoughtseize turn 2. That's probably a little bit too slow. Interesting hand though. So turn one, turn one Karakish, Spirit Guide, Sylvan Scrying for Urborg. Turn two Thoughtseize. Not sure if that's enough. One French Cold Snap for EDH, 4 box toppers for Legacy. That's cool. I still like the box toppers. I think the extended artwork on Dark Depths is probably one of the better extended artworks that they've come out with. I think this hand is just a little bit too rough. If I'm spending an Elvish Spirit Guide and a Spirit and a Sylvan Scrying to go and get just an Urborg, it's probably not a hand that I want to be keeping here. This is okay. Some fast mana, turn one Thoughtseize. I'll keep this. It's a question of what do I keep. So I want to keep Urborg, Thoughtseize. I probably want some sort of pressure, so that's going to be Elvish Reclaimer. And for that, I even need Elvish Spirit Guide or Lotus Petal. In case I draw into Oof, I'm going to ditch the Lotus Petal. So I think this is fine. Depths is your favorite thing to do in Legacy? It is very cool. It is very nice. I'm a huge fan of green-white Depths, which is a little bit different, a little bit more mid-range, but I can definitely see the appeal of a deck like Turbo Depths as well. Really nice. Blue-black Spy? Yeah, I saw. I was watching Phil the other night play against double Maverick, which is pretty funny. Just an Ancient Tomb. Okay. Oh, Collector Oof. Wow. I probably want to Thoughtseize first. Thoughtseize into turn 2 Oof. Instead of just turn 1 Oof here. Just in case they have some sort of removal spell. Opponent also went down to 4, which is pretty rough. Yeah. And I think he would have taken the Forge because they have the City of Traders. Ensnaring Bridge is answered by Abrupt Decay, so that's going to be fine. Just don't play Khan. That'd be pretty rough. Force of Vigor. Okay. Now this is pretty interesting. So Force is pretty much a free Abrupt Decay. So maybe there's a world here where I should go Spirit Guide, Sylvan Scrying, get a land, play Reclaimer. And then I can follow up next turn anyway, because there is a world where we just don't draw into a land next turn. So I think that's probably correct. Exile this, play Sylvan Scrying, go and get a fetch land, play a fetch land, play Reclaimer. Oof. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm probably okay with them just taking one card here. Yeah, I think I like this line as well. Thought-Knot Seer does make it a little bit harder because the Elvish Reclaimer, of course, can't attack into it. And I kind of like not forcing here in response because we do also have Abrupt Decay as just an answer to the Ensnaring Bridge. They take the Oof. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Pedal. Okay. I think we just pass here. Vault Key's okay. Surge Node. Sure. End step. I don't think I want to force here. I think I'm happy doing nothing. The question is, do I want to go get something with Elvish Reclaimer? And I think I want to get Thespian Stage here. In case I draw into another land. We have the green anyway. For Abrupt Decay. Needle. I think Needle here I want to go after Khan. And just pass here. Ah, yes. Yes. Haha. But now Lotus Petal doesn't work. Okay, that's probably fine. Another Needle. Another Needle. Maybe Mystic Forge? It does stop the pay 1 life, but that's about it. Yeah, maybe Khan Scion is another name that I should do. I could name Wasteland. Maybe Wasteland was actually correct. Mystic Forge, okay. That's fine because we have the Force, but I'm probably going to Force here on these two. Just so they don't get the Mystic Forge in their turn as well. Petal, not great. I'm not sure if it plays Ugin. I have seen Khan ski on his stream before. Okay, that's actually pretty nice because that is Dark Depths in a way off the Reclaimer. Another bridge would be pretty bad for us. It is another bridge, wow. Alright. Go and get depths. Again, just to play around Wasteland, I'm pretty happy to sack the Dark Depths here. Maybe I'm supposed to keep up a black mana just to show that I have something, perhaps. We know they have, I think, 3 to 4 Wastelands in the deck, so... Ooh, okay. Getting closer. I do need a green card for it, though. I can't use the petals, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know the straight list, but I do know that this deck before on Flow's stream has played Wasteland. Come on, green card. There's probably a world where I need to sack this as well in case I draw into the other Abrupt Decay. Okay. One more turn. Inventor's Fair works. What are they going to get? Maybe another bridge? I'm kind of scared about this part. Mystic Forge. Okay. Pretty scary. They have 3 cards left. I think in response to the first thing they cast of the Mystic Forge, I should force it with the other bridge. They're gonna scry first. Hey Jason, a huge thank you for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Hey Nathan, sorry I didn't see you there. Oh, this is interesting. This is going to be fine, but in response I'm going to force the bridge and the forge. So that they can't play anything else off the Mystic Forge. They're going to pay 2 life, exile something, play this. Just don't have another bridge in hand. Do they have any mana? Yeah, this is going to be pretty tough for my opponent. Hey Wolf, we're currently 1-1. I unfortunately played a Dark Depths into a Thespian stage on my opponent's side when we had a pretty mid-range battle against lands, but unfortunately just brain farted a little bit. But otherwise, yeah, that's a pretty interesting game. It's always scary with decks that aren't too mainstream because you're not too sure what to play around at times. Hey Wolf, 3 months sub, very nice. Thank you very much. A huge thank you. I hope you had a nice time yesterday. If you guys want to find more Legacy Depths content, you can find it at Where's Wolf on Twitch, which is really cool. Mr. Lee, geez, another sub. A huge thank you. You know what? If you guys want to find some really good green-white based Legacy content, definitely check out Mr. Lee. I think we played against Mr. Lee yesterday. And he had a sweet deck going, so definitely check out Mr. Lee on YouTube and Twitch, I believe. Hey Ryan, always nice to have a standard player in chat as well. Ryan, I believe, played in the Australian team a few times for MTG, which is very cool, alongside Brisbane, Starwood, David Mines. Hey, thanks, Find Dorsal. Thank you very much. We were playing Depths against you. Oh, Chancellor. Okay. That's going to be interesting. We do have the Lotus Petals. That helps a little bit. Hey, Flow True. Thank you very much. Definitely pretty tough. I was pretty lucky to have the Force of Vigors there when I needed them. But very cool to see your deck in action. I think you were just on green-white kind of depths. Oh, sorry, green-white something? We are playing Turbo Depths today, which is pretty fun. I'm not too sure if I'm supposed to concede in response to their hand disruption, if they have any. Yeah. Technically, we do have a few draws out of this. So we have Crop Rotation or Caracas as an out. We also have the pedal to play around the Chancellor effect, which is really nice. I think I'm happy to play this out. There's always a chance, so I'd rather just not concede. Yeah, Green White Value Town. That was probably it. It was a very cool deck. I wonder if they take the Lotus Petal here, because it allows us to kind of play around the Chancellor. It also means, I guess Lotus Petal also turns off the Caracas line. So I think Lotus Petal is just the best play here, because nothing else we can cast into the Chancellor trigger. They take Inquisition. Okay. We have a pretty good out here. Ah. I played the Urborg because I want to try to draw into Dark Depths, which we can then play the Hex Mage into. So I think because that's the play, I'd rather just Thoughtseize here. Okay. This isn't going to be fun. Especially with the looting. They don't currently have access to red mana, but they can attack first. Ah, very cool. What did you play at the 25th anniversary? I know that that's where Shadow really came out of its shell, and there's a few big Shadow players. I think here we just take the looting, perhaps. I think looting's just the best here, right? Because taking a creature does not seem great. Taking Animate Dead Exhume or Faithless Exhume isn't great either. I think it's just looting. You played Rug Delver? Okay. Very cool deck to go into. Yeah, if I take the looting, they can't cast it for free. They have to flash it back, so that at least stops them a little bit. The issue is that Chancellor is going to be, Elish Norn is going to be really good against these Hex Mages if it gets in play. There's the Badlands, okay. 1, 4, okay. So even one ritual doesn't get them Faithless Looting and a Reanimate effect, unless they have Reanimate itself, but that would kill them, so. Oh, Cabal Therapy. Oh, yikes. That's a little bit tough. Because even if we draw Dark Depths, I guess our best draw is still, you know what it is. Unless they go for Ashen Rider here. Yeah, I was going to say Crop Rotation, but I think this just does it. Yeah. They can also flashback Cabal Therapy if they really want to, but there's nothing to actually take, so this is looking pretty bad. Yes. Yeah, there's lethal on board. Okay. This is going to be an interesting one to sideboard against. I do like the ley lines and the surgicals. I'm not too sure on anything else. Hitting Animate Dead might be relevant, but I'm not too sure if it's actually worth bringing anything in for. I think the knots can definitely come out. Sylvan Scrying probably isn't the worst because it can get either Bog or Caracas. I do like the fast mana because it allows us to also play around Chancellor of the Annex, which is quite nice. I don't mind the hand disruption on the play either, because we could take something like Entomb, Dark Ritual, or a Reanimate spell. It might just be the Duresses. Because if they did sideboard into some sort of creature, like Rotting Regisaur, or a few other creatures that they board into just to cast them early on to play around a Graveyard Hate sideboard, then at least Inquisition can take them, but Duress can't. I don't think Trap is worth it. There's some times where you can get them because they go like Ritual, Entomb, Animate, but usually it's over multiple turns. And usually if they're casting heaps of spells in one turn, you're probably going to lose that game anyway. I might just bring in a Force because of Animated, but maybe it's just better to bring in Decay because there's not always times where I have a green card in hand. I think this is fine. We do have some pretty nice plays as well with crop rotation, so I think this is going to be fine. But interesting matchup. Would love to play first, and this hand is interesting, but probably not there. So we get to Pithing Needle Grizzlebrand, which is kind of nice. And then we also get to hold up crop rotation if needed. So I'm going to keep it because then we also have another crop for the combo if we draw into a green source. I think this hand and how I'm keeping it shows the power of crop rotation. There's Chancellor, okay. So we're going to cast the Petal, pay for Chancellor, and then just hold up crop rotation here. I think holding up crop is better than holding up Pithing Needle in case they go for like an Ashen Rider or getting back Chancellor, so I can go for Bog here. Looting's okay. Ashen Rider Grizzlebrand, okay. Petal's fine. Do we get to get them here? Nothing, okay. That's pretty interesting. Spirit Guide. Huh, okay. That gives us the combo next turn if we really want it. But I assume they found a way to get it back because we can. Spirit Guide away the Swamp to then get Dark Depths. We still have 2 mana floating for the Thespian stage. We're definitely playing a stage. And I could play the Needle out. But I'm not sure if it's worth it. It does get it on the board, which is a little bit safer than in our hand. But I'm going to pass here because in the very rare case where my opponent doesn't have a Reanimate spell, we can just combo this turn. Okay, so this is where I just want to... I probably want to use the Petal here over the Elvish Spirit Guide. Crop for Bog. Bog, target them. Ha! Okay, so now we can still play Needle here on Grizzlebrand and then also have the combo, which is really nice. Because we have 1, 2, 3 mana, 1 for crop, 2 for copy. This is looking better. Looting's gonna be okay. I guess if they have like another 1 mana way to get a creature back, like Reanimate, it's gonna be pretty tough. Chancellor, okay. They're gonna Reanimate Chancellor, okay. So I think here, because Karakas doesn't do anything and we've already used Bog, I just want to go for the combo. And they're just going to concede. Obviously, they thought that they didn't have an out to it, even if they blocked with the Chancellor. So, pretty lucky there, because one slight advantage in that game was that we didn't show Leyline and we didn't show Surgical. So my opponent still doesn't know how we board for Graveyard Hate other than Bojuka Bog and Crop Rotation. So, that's really nice to see. I think I'm pretty happy with this 60. I'm just going to run this back. There's some thought that I want to play Mindbreak Trap, but I don't think it's worth it. I think that's me just being a little bit too kind of overthinking the matchup. I guess like there are a bunch of turns. So we have what, 2 minutes here. So they have things like Lotus Petal, Faithful Saluting, Reanimate, Ritual, Entomb, Exhume. So there are ways where Mindbreak Trap does make sense, but it is kind of limited to the first turn outside of a big Grizzlebrand turn, which is pretty tough anyway. But maybe there's a case to just trying it out over something like Inquisition. I feel like Inquisition's a little bit better, but I do like trying out cards like Mindbreak Trap against decks like Reanimator just to kind of show if they can do anything or not, because especially on the draw, there are some times where they can just win on turn 1. So I think for that reason, I'm just going to try them out. I'm not going to say it's obviously better than Inquisition. It is a card usually just for Storm and other sort of combo decks, but you know, Reanimator is a pretty fast combo deck, so there is a world where Mindbreak Trap does make sense. Yeah, Trap is definitely a lot worse once we hit turn 1. But I think the big thing that I'm worried about is a turn 1 combo, which is usually 3 or more spells. So it kind of acts like Leyline in that way that, you know, Leyline is the card that allows us to win, not lose on turn 1 or 0. So we're gonna test it. We're gonna test it and see how it plays out. And maybe if there's a case where we have Mindbreak and we rather Inquisition, then that's a pretty good way to know. This is a pretty slow hand. We have Urborg into Hexmage Dark Depths, but no interaction other than Crop Rotation. So I'm gonna mulligan this. This is interesting, but again, just, you know, it's a hand where I hopefully just don't care what my opponent is doing. I think again, even with the fast mana, it's just a little bit too slow. It is a turn 2 Dark Depths, but is that really fast enough against this deck? I do want some sort of disruption, and this is pretty good. Leyline and Surgical and Needle. So I'm gonna keep this bottom 1 Needle. And then, even though we have both here, I do want to keep both just in case they do have something like Reverend Silence for the Leyline. It's probably the Scrying. Scrying does get us closer to winning the game and getting one piece of the combo, but I do really like having both pieces here. Maybe it's a case of Pithy Needle, because if we have Leyline and Surgical, how often are they actually going to get Grizzlebrand into play? So maybe it's a case of taking out Needle here. I think that's actually pretty good. And, you know, Leyline can just win the game sometimes on turn 1. Hey, XJ, a huge congrats on your top 8 with Death and Taxes again. Very, very cool. Cabal, okay. Cabal's gonna be interesting. I like that you've stuck with the same deck pretty much as well throughout all of these, because it seems like every challenge you've played so far, you've top 8'd. And I'm sure there's been some 5-0 leagues in there as well. What do they name with Cabal Therapy? They named Vampire Hexmage, okay. Another Scrying. I'm just gonna go for Verdant here. Pass. I'm not too sure if there's a reasoning to play Forest instead of Verdant here. I feel like there isn't, thankfully. Another Cabal, okay. They probably just named the Sylvan Scrying here. If they name Surgical, it might mean they have an answer to the ley line. They named Sylvan Scrying, okay. That's pretty good. Spirit Guide, okay. Top 8 of packs, top 16, the challenge last week. Top 8 of this week. Yeah, you do a lot of winning. They're entombing, interesting. Maybe they're entombing a card they don't want to draw into? If my opponent plays something like Eternal Scourge, I would be very impressed. Exhume. Okay, that makes sense. Achievement unlocked. Bug their comms, kill a Delver player by stealing and flipping their Delver. Archmage's Charm or Gilded Drake? I think here we just cast a Spirit Guide, right? And just start to get some pressure on board. Helm of Obedience? Very cool. Okay. I respect that. That's a very cool play. Nice. Alright. Oh, Thoughtseize. I am going to Thoughtseize them. Shenanigans. Okay. It's probably just the ritual here that I care about. And then we know the hand. At least we can just 6 these turns as well, which is quite nice. Crop rotation. Okay. Good to know. This means if we get one piece of the combo, we then have the combo on the next turn, which is nice. Caracas is pretty good. Nice, okay. So there it was just Leyline. Leyline was a huge deal for that game, which is really nice. And it's always nice to be 3-1 as well, going into the last, because you're gonna make do sometimes. Hey John, what big tournaments do you have coming up? Are there any kind of invite-only tournaments? I know there was something on yesterday or last night. I feel like there was a showcase. Viba. Yeah. This hand is a lot of mana. The Bajuka Bog might be irrelevant. I don't think this is a hand that I want to keep. I think game 1 I just want to be purely on my combo, and this doesn't have any piece of it, so I'm pretty happy to mulligan this. The showcase challenge was the one today. Okay, cool. Actually, I think the winner was in here before with Rug Delver, I believe. I believe they said he was only 14 as well, which is very cool. So we have a pretty interesting hand here. I like this a lot, and I probably just want to drop 1 crop. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Sylvan Scrying, and then hold up crop on turn 3. The question is, do I want to go for Bayou? Probably just want to go for Urborg. Yeah, because at least if they go Wasteland, this Verdant can turn into something else. Ha! Okay. This is pretty interesting. So we do have Pith Needles in the deck, which are pretty nice to answer Wishclaw Talisman. But because we don't have one in the opening hand, I'm a little bit afraid of it. Taking the Veil also turns on any further hand disruption, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I think it is going to be Wish Claw. Because Veil doesn't do a whole lot here. Wish Claw's kind of their way to win here, to find something that actually, you know, something that the mana actually develops into. So I think it is just Wish Claw because we don't have a great answer to it now. And at least if we draw into a Pity Needle, we can just name Wish Claw anyway. There's Taiga, there's Petal, there's Mox. Okay. So now we kind of just got to hope that we're faster than them. Ooh, okay. Huh. We just play Depths, pass, and then next turn we can rotate. Yeah. It's bloodstained. Oh, they're cracking it. It's always a little bit scary. There's Wish Claw. Okay. So now it's just a case of you win next turn or I win next turn. And it's probably a case of you win next turn, unfortunately. Why was that better than playing Catacombs and rotating now? Why was what better? Was there a different line to playing the Verdant Catacombs and just keeping up crop? There's the swamp, so we know about nothing. Okay. Burning Wish is pretty good. Echo, okay. LED is pretty good. Stage. Yep. Okay. Add noise. Yep. Add noise is pretty good. Just too slow, unfortunately. Hey, thanks, Lee. Very nice of you. Yeah, we had a really interesting decision where we used a Elvish Spirit Guide instead of the Lotus Petal in play. And when you green sunned for 3, we thought you might be going for Collector Oof. So we had to use the Lotus Petal in response to the green suns when you got Ramanap. And we didn't have the mana then to then do something in end step. Grape Shot's pretty good. So boarding before Mindbreak Trap, Force, and Collector Oof. Not of this world. Scrying. I think this is pretty good. He didn't have to do that to you. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm playing a combo deck as well, so if they're going to combo faster, which traditionally they do, then I'm all for it. I think this is fine. Yesterday we did test out Leyline because of Echo. Otherwise, Leyline isn't that great. I'm not going to bring in Leyline just because of, you know, Rider Flame. But it is tough. I think that Mindbreak Trap's just better than Leyline because obviously it's great against Storm, and it kind of does the same thing for the Echo lines. I feel like this is good enough. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, the only reason that I do like Leyline is that it turns off Echo, but that's it. But as well, like Echo is just so big that, you know, it's worth thinking about, but obviously it doesn't do a whole lot. This is an interesting hand. We have turn 1 Thoughtseize, and if we draw a land, we have turn 2 Collector Oof, which I don't think is good enough. I think it's just a little bit too slow. Is there a card that totally hoses Tess? Yeah, Null Word effects are really good. Trinisphere is pretty good as well. Especially in your deck, Mr. Lee, because you are playing Ancient Tombs, you could play Trinisphere, which is pretty sweet. You could even do something like Mox Diamond, Ancient Tomb, Trinisphere turn 1. I'm gonna mull this. I think it's just a little bit too risky because it does rely on that draw of another colored or another source of mana, so. Yeah. Turn 1 Inquisition. Turn 2 go off? No. Close, but. Turn 1 Inquisition. Turn 2 land, so we have 3 mana total. But we need to tap the stage, yeah. Opponent kept 7 as well. Yeah, Deafening Silence is also a great play, especially as a turn 1 play. I feel like there's a better 5. Yeah. The issue is that I do want pressure, but I think Inquisition into Thoughtseize and Needle is pretty good. It was a turn 3, but you know our game just then was a turn 3 as well, which was just a bit too slow. It's between the Reclaimer and the Pithy Needle. The Reclaimer is pressure, but we do have half of the combo here. And Needle can be really good if we can take something like Veil and then name Needle on Wishclaw and then Thoughtseize something else. I think it is just Reclaimer because we can cast everything else. I'm going to Inquisition first. Interesting. We probably just take the Ponder here. I'm pretty happy for that. If they want to Chrome Mox the Chain of Vapor, I'm probably okay with that. Rough. Oh, they're just passing? Okay, that's fine with me. Oh, Hex Mage, okay. Rough. I'm gonna Thoughtseize first so they can't chain the Pithing Needle. I guess they couldn't anyway, but sequencing sometimes. Alright, we know about Chrome Mox in hand. Fetching. I kind of hope they get a Tundra here, because then we could copy it with the stage. If we don't draw a green source, we draw another source. And then we can turn on things like drawing into Collector Oof to get a Volk. Burning Wish. Echo. Yep. I guess at least we can draw here into a few things, including Mindbreak Trap. But they're just going to pass back. That's interesting. Bayou. Alright. Yeah. Hexmage is interesting as well, because if they do get rid of the Pithing Needle, there's some contention to actually Hexmage their Wishclaw Talisman, so it has 0 counters on it. I left the green up as well because if they echo, we could maybe draw into Crop Rotation, which we could then cast to Dark Depths and win the following turn. If they don't win, which can be a pretty tough ask. All right. Ooh, there's Trap. Nice. They could... Okay, Veil actually does nothing, which is kind of nice. Okay, so Chrome Mox taps for nothing, but they played it to actually turn on the Mox to overpull. Reasonable. I mean, if they don't do anything here, we have a pretty nice play of just Duress, Inquisition, Sylvan Scrying for Dark Depths. Opponent having a good think about their 7, which is fair enough. They probably could combo here. If they do try to destroy the Pithy Needle, I am going to go after the Wish Claw with my Vampire Hexmage, because we do have the win just as fast with Sylvan Scrying and Thespian Stage next turn. And because of the amount of free mana we have... Oh. That was close. Ponder's okay. We'll see what they do with the Ponder. Ah, interesting, they've gone. Okay. But yeah, in general, I think this matchup is pretty interesting if you do have things like Mindbreak Trap for some amount of interaction. Of course, the hand disruption does help, but it is really only relevant on the first, maybe second turn, and can be hit by Veil, which is pretty rough. Thankfully, Mindbreak Trap exiles any number of target spells, so you can get around Veil with Mindbreak, but you can't get around Defense Grid. We're pretty close to getting around it because of the Elvish Spirit Guide in hand and the mana available in play, but otherwise we can't. Does anyone in chat play Tess? I know that Wishy does. Which sadly you won't be able to play this week, this Wednesday, because we have a 7-point Highlander at Upper Macrovat, which will be pretty cool. Not biased at all. Yeah, it's pretty good. Brisbane's got a really nice community. We usually have 20 to 25 for monthly Highlander, and then usually every quarter we have a big tournament in Toowoomba, which gets around 30 to 35, which is pretty sweet. Epically is another streamer, sometimes streaming 7-point Highlander, so if you're keen for that, definitely check him out. Opponent really having a good think. I wonder if they put us on Mindbreak Trap or not. We haven't shown it yet, and typically it's not played in depth, but I know that Hep has been playing it, so a lot of people following him probably increase the chances of test players knowing that we usually or sometimes do play Mindbreak Trap. Six cards in my opponent's hand. Clock winding down. Luckily below us, which is nice. And hopefully this game goes to a third, thanks to Mindbreak Trap here. I am going to quickly get some water. I'll be back in 1 second. Come on now. I thought I might have come back to a play. So next turn we have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. 7 if we draw a land, but I probably want a Scrying for Dark Depths. So we currently want to use 2, 3 for the combo because of Thespian Stage. So then we'll have 3 left over with Dark Depths. a land and a petal or spirit guide, which is pretty nice. Our opponent did lose the connection before, but it looks like they're back. Oh no, they lost. Okay, so they lost connection, joined, lost connection, joined. But yeah, Test in general, obviously a pretty cool deck. Obviously a deck made by Brian Cook, which you can check out at the... Is it theepicstorm.com? I believe it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Of course, if you're looking for Maverick content, check out the Green Sun Zenith. If you guys want to find me on YouTube, you can also find me here. All my recorded videos and other stuff is there. If you want to reach out, I'm on Twitter, which you can find me at twitter.com/TigsOnTwitch. That's about it. This deck's been really fun. Depth is obviously a deck that the more you play it, the better you get at it, which might sound like a pretty common phrase for most decks, but even little things. We got caught up yesterday where we should have used an Elvish Spirit Guide instead of a Lotus Petal, but that didn't happen, so... just going to pass here. Okay. That's pretty good for us. Force of... okay. Let's start off with Duress. I have Veil, okay. Cast Petal. So the interesting thing here is I probably don't want to cast Inquisition, so that's fine because we can go and get Dark Depths off Sylvan Scrying and then hold up both Elvish Spirit Guide and Mindbreak Trap. So I think just an upkeep, I'm going to force the Mog's Opal and the Lion's Eye Diamond. We also have the combo here through Dark Depths thanks to Urborg allowing the Dark Depths to tap for mana. So I'm probably more likely to respond to something on the Pithy Needle with Hexmage on Wishclaw just to turn it off by removing all the counters on it. If you guys want to find the music as well for this stream, you should look up Stream Beats on YouTube. It's a set of playlists made by Harris Heller, who is a legacy player. He's a YouTuber who also streams, and he just does a bunch of sort of videos on streaming. It's called Stream Beats. He has a lo-fi playlist, a synthwave, electro, and another one. I think I'm okay right now because of the needle on Wishclaw. If anything, I can respond to the needle. I don't think my opponent's going to be playing anything like Corrosion Grip, so I should always have a response to it, which is nice. Oh, the last one is Rap? Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's like R&B, which is kind of cool. But yeah, Reaple, are you saying that I should have used the Hexmage even though I have the needle out on it as well? Maybe you just didn't see the needle on Wishclaw. Hey Boyd, welcome. Currently 3-1, playing for the 4-1 against Tess. We're in game 2. Opponent is having some connectivity issues, so he is going in and out, or they are going in and out, apologies. but it looks like they're just having a good think about this turn. We currently have Pithing Needle on Wishclaw Talisman, which is nice. We currently have the combo both through Thespian Stage and Hexmage. And we have a Mindbreak Trap in hand in case they go off, which is pretty sweet. So one thing I was just discussing then is that because Needle is on Wishclaw, it's pretty good. But if they go to destroy the Pithing Needle, because we have the combo here set up through Urborg and Dark Depths, we can actually use Hexmage to get rid of the luck counters on Wishclaw Talisman, which is pretty good. Yeah, it's a nice little backup, which is pretty cool. There is a world where they get to Thoughtseize us before they go off. Like, Burning Wish here probably gets Thoughtseize, unfortunately. Oh, Peer into the Abyss, okay. That's gonna be fine. Tendrils, just to gain some life. So we can just trap this. Ah, wait, what happens here? Do we wait for the storm to go on? Okay. Is that how you... Yeah, okay. And now they're tapped out. We have the Hexmage in play, which is nice. Okay, cool. Boarding is interesting. I don't think we want to change anything. Hey, the guy on the right. Do you mainly stream Legacy? I do. I was going to start streaming a Modern Knight, where I do just like a green-white kind of Modern deck. Maybe like green-white Titan or some form of green-white Hate Bears. I do want to start doing some sort of like Maverick content in Modern. It's just pretty tough because Maverick doesn't really have a place in the format. There's no real strategy for Maverick to really exist with, I guess. It's pretty hard to build a Maverick deck in Modern and know you're going to have a good grasp of every deck. But yeah, in short, mainly Legacy. Usually 2 times a week. Thursday nights at 7:30 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, and also on Sunday mornings at 10 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time. Hey Supreme, thanks for the follow. And the guy on the right, a huge thank you. None of the Reliquary doesn't have good lands to fetch in Modern. Yeah, it is pretty tough. I mean, no Port, no Wasteland. You do have Ghost Quarter, meh. Bojuka Bog, Step. Like, there's some things, but I don't mind that there's like a deck with the Retreat to Coral Helm, but not sure if it's just a little bit too fair. I don't think on the draw I want to change anything. I'm probably pretty happy with this. It's kind of cute. Reclaimer gets Flagstones. Yeah, so we actually have... I've been playing a green-white depths list that does play Flagstones, and it also plays Elvish Reclaimer, which has been doing pretty well. I've been trying out Felidar Retreat in it as well. The good thing about green-white over green-black is that you do have a good mid-range strategy as well with Reclaimers and Knights in a small Green Suns package, so you're not just dead to losing the matchup, which is the matchups where they can just get rid of or deal with Dark Depths pretty easily. I think I am just going to run this back. I don't think there's anything that I want to change. Oh, you know Green Suns content from the Legacy subreddit? Very cool. Yeah, the subreddit's a good place to be. Yeah, Reclaimer's a very cool card. I think Reclaimer is probably the most widely appreciated design over the past like 2 years by a lot of players. Not too powerful in a way that's going to break any formats, but just really, really cool. This hand is interesting. It's a turn 1 Thoughtseize or Duress, turn 2 Pith Needle, or if we want, we can Spirit Guide out Needle. Yeah, Reclaimer was a really cool design. It doesn't have Trap, but it does have some play to it. Yeah, there's a few cool creature decks in Modern. Even like the green-white Value Town is pretty close to it. I was trying to think if this hand is too fair. turn 1 we get to play Pithing Needle and a Thoughtseize, so that's kind of cool. We also have one half the package and then the second half in Sylvan Scrying, but yeah, double hand attack does seem nice. I think I am going to keep it and just hope that it's good enough. I don't really want to aggressively mulligan for one of the 2 Mindbreak traps in the deck. I'd rather keep a hand that does something to disrupt my opponent but also has a game plan on its own, which is the combo, which is kind of nice. I really want to see Ponder here and not Rider Flame. Preparing a sell this so I can buy this. Very cool. Yeah, Turbo Depths isn't too expensive. You can play it without Bayou. It obviously is a lot better with Bayou, but yeah, it's got some interesting play to it. Crop rotation. Okay, we're definitely going for Thoughtseize here because it can take Echo if for some reason they didn't Echo. They're gonna Brainstorm, okay. I have seen some 5-0 lists that have played Blooming Marsh because it's also quite good against Submerge, which is pretty relevant right now with Rug being so good. Yeah, so there is some deck building constriction costs by your Verdant to only be able to get one color, but a lot of the time it's really cool to be able to, you know, showcase Green Black Depths as a pretty budget option to get into the format and then work your way towards buying a Bayou, which, to be fair, it's a pretty regular land in Legacy. It's not like a plateau, which is kind of cool. Ritual Brainstorm, interesting. I'm probably more scared of the mana here, so I'm probably taking the Ritual. The Brainstorm isn't that great because even if the top card of their library is a fetch land, doesn't really do much, so I think this is okay just to take the Ritual. And then I think just to be proactive, I do want to Spirit Guide out this Needle. This is an interesting one because there's not too many worlds where they can Wishclaw this turn unless they have Echo, and because of Echo, I'm probably happy to actually empty my hand as fast as possible. So I think we will go with Pithing Needle here. I believe Rug Delver won the challenge. I was so close to naming Pithing Needle with Pithing Needle there. Okay. I actually believe they were in the chat before. Let me have a quick look. Okay, I can't see it. But yeah, I do believe they were in the chat. Are there any other options to name? I don't believe so. You can't name you can name the Moxen, it does nothing. You can name LED, it does nothing. It's mainly just Witchclaw. Interesting. Wow. Witchclaw? This claw. Name Tendrils. Reclaim is pretty interesting. They currently don't have up Veil, which is nice, so I can kind of force the Brainstorm. This is an interesting one. We're definitely playing the Thespian stage. The thing with Inquisition is that they could just Brainstorm into something that Inquisition cannot hit. So they could have like Land and Echo. But To be fair as well, the Inquisition here just applying pressure and making them brainstorm if they want to use brainstorm could also be a benefit to me. So I am getting Inquisition. They can't brainstorm into Chain, or into Veil, which is nice either. Next turn we can Scrying. It's tough. I could Scrying into Dark Depths if I really wanted to, but then I can't cast one of these Crop Rotations or Reclaimer. I think I like Scrying just for another land to play Reclaimer and then hold up Crop Rotation for the combo the following turn. The other play is Scrying for Urborg, and then just use the Bayou the following turn to crop into Dark Depths to go off. Land Echo? Oh, Rattleflame, okay. Get to take something. I guess that could be a bad thing because it does actually increase the amount of mana that Rattleflames do make. So they have a Verdant in hand? Okay. And still just one card. Burning Wish? Yeah, okay. So now it looks like they're going for Echo. Opponent also at 5 minutes, which they should win within 5 minutes, but it is a little bit of pressure as well to be down on the clock. Gotta love that Mind Break trap. Interesting, opponent playing out the Lotus Petals to play around Mindbreak Trap, so if I can draw a Collector Oof here, I would be... Mwah. Thoughtseize is pretty nice. I'm going to play the Needles to see if they fetch or not, because the Thespian Stage mana isn't doing much anyway. They are going to fetch, okay. I think we just named Witchclaw again. I could go after a fetch land, but I think just naming Witchclaw again is fine because it stops Chain. I still am going to Thoughtseize them. They could have Veil, but I think the upside is just so high. Yeah, I didn't mean to mismatch the Needles. I even got 4 copies of the Rav ones, but for some reason it pulled in 2 Return to Rav that I had. I apologize, xCloud. I really do. I hate it as much as you probably hate it. Okay, just a pass. Interesting. Ooh, Thoughtseize. I think we just go for Hexmage here. Because, yeah. Huh. I think it's Hexmage because it gives us the best chance to win. I could also just hold up mana because Hexmage is a little bit more open to like Grape Shot if they have it, but I guess it doesn't matter because we can then just... Yeah, I think just playing Hexmage is fine. Should have named Petal. if they don't know that Pith Needle does not work on Petal, I think we would win this either way, which is kind of nice. Land, okay. Maybe it was correct to play the Needle because this Thespian stage mana isn't doing anything anyway, and just blind name a land. Need a Phyrexian Revoker? Chrome Mox, okay. There actually is a reason to not go for Hexmage. It's to hold up mana so we could Mindbreak Trap through a defense grid, which I think is probably the more correct line than playing out Hexmage, because both avenues lead to it. They're getting Pia. Oh, they're tapping out. Ooh! Ho ho! Nice. Okay. We got the 4-1, which is nice. I'm gonna have nightmares about that Dark Depths in game 1, but always nice to get. I mean, there's always a learning curve with the new deck, and I think, you know, getting a 4-1 is pretty nice. Especially when there are little misplays that I do make, like they're playing the Hex Mage. Playing around defense grid is I think definitely correct, but very cool to get. Let's quickly find this Turbodepths list. I really like it. I did take out, or we did take out, Wolf and I took out the 3rd Mindbreak Trap for a Sylvan library. But for the matches that we've played, we probably rather the 3rd Mindbreak Trap. But we have a pretty good nick of finding these, which is nice. But yeah, obviously this is only the 1 card off Tom Hep's list, which is probably the best approved to go right now. Yeah, Negator77, aka Thomas Hep, built this list, and it's been really nice. I really enjoy it. I think that with a combo deck like Depths, you do want consistency, and the amount of 4-ofs in this deck just makes it obviously a very consistent deck. There's only 1 or 2 1-ofs, which is nice, and yeah, I just really enjoy it. List sucks, didn't even play it today. Hey Tom, hope you're well. We did kind of screw up the 5-0. We had a really nice board against lands after surgicaling their Dark Depths. They had a Thespian stage out. We wanted to increase our clock, so we played Dark Depths to then cast an Elvish Spirit Guide off another Elvish Spirit Guide. Oh, we didn't exile an Elvish Spirit Guide in hand to cast the other one because we had Urborgs. We're like, hey, we'll play Depths out and then we'll cast a Spirit Guide to increase this clock. And of course they got to copy it and went with a 2020, which is pretty good. You ran Black Red today and regretted it? That's more than fine. Yeah, I really like this list. I kind of want to keep it on my card hoarder account for a while because it's just so much fun to play, and the leagues are pretty quick, which is nice, which is always good. And yeah, it just has so many different ways to win, which is good. I mean, obviously Dark Depths, but you can get there with Reclaimer. You can just maybe even lock out your opponent with Needle, which is kind of cool. But yeah, a huge thank you to you guys for coming in and watching. A huge thank you to everyone for the new subs, the new follows. I very much appreciate it. I will be back on Thursday evening, which is usually Thursday morning in the US, with Green White Black Depths. I think I'll just be going with Achilles' list, who is obviously killing it right now. There's actually a few lists. I'm currently writing up the new Maverick Monthly for September, and there's a bunch of lists to go through. I mean, looking at Abzan Maverick, we have first in the challenge over the weekend, 8th from Brennan, Achilles 2nd, 30th, and 3 challenges. 26th with Alex, Saito 6th, Free 18th. Some really cool lists, which is awesome. That should be out this week, which would be pretty fun. But yeah, let me quickly see who else is playing online. If you guys want to find me on YouTube, you can find me here. If you want to find me on Twitter, you can find me here. I'm going to be on 90s MTG as well, streaming some Paper Legacy in Thursday week, I believe, which should be really cool. Dark Cloud, you're more than welcome. Which should be, yeah, really fun. It's always nice to play Paper Magic, especially with those guys. What is your opinion on Achilles 4 CMC Kaya? Really interesting. So there's a little bit of, let me get it up. I think it's Ghost Assassin. I think right now, one of the best 4-mana planeswalkers for Legacy Maverick is Vraska, because she does give you some ability to deal with something like Oko, but also stick around, which is really nice. Kai is obviously really good as well, and Achilles, being the player he is, has obviously found something really good with Kaya. The discard against control or any sort of mid-range deck is really nice. The ability to reset Kaya is nice. You can also get some cool ETB triggers off something like Knight of the Reliquary. Nathan, 100%, yeah, I'll definitely wait out for you. But yeah, Kaya is really cool. I know that, speaking of the new Nissa, Achilles has been playing it out as well, which is pretty cool. Nissa does allow you to get some amount of value going, especially by getting creatures back from the graveyard, which isn't something that Maverick necessarily always has access to. But neither of these deal with creatures or other sort of permanents that you can find pretty hard to deal with. And Vraska's Neg 3 is pretty sweet because it allows you to grind out with some of those other value decks where you're playing a card and you're not losing it straight away when you trade away for another card. So Vraska can deal with, say, an Oko, tick up a few times, and maybe deal with something else, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I think it's really cool that Achilles has been playing around with Kaya Ghost Assassin, because it's always really cool to see new cards being played and actually get results as well. And I think as we see more players playing around with 4-mana Nissa, we'll hopefully see some pretty cool ways to play her, I guess. But I think because Kaya does destroy other permanents, she does have some play in actually making some of the bad matchups for Maverick a little bit better, like Snow. You have that sort of value there. But it's really a case of always trying to find what card actually adds to some of our bad matchups and kind of makes our good matchups just that little bit better. And I think Kai is there, especially because of this. The discard and the ability to reset her is really nice. The Tendrils effect as well is pretty interesting, especially because Maverick doesn't have too much reach. So being able to do this over multiple turns can have a real impact on a game, especially against one that has, you know, 1 or 2 creatures trying to beat you down. So I think Kai is really cool. I want to try it myself. Being a one-of, you don't see it too much, but I think that she's pretty good. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna run this back on Thursday night as well. I'm gonna do a double league with this and Maverick, so that should be pretty fun. I'll wait for Nathan to get online. There he is, and send you guys over there. A huge thank you once again. If you guys want to find me, you can follow me here or follow me on YouTube. I would very much appreciate it. Here is Nathan, who I believe is going to be playing some Maverick, which is very cool. Thank you again, especially to the subs. Really appreciate it. Enjoy your weeks ahead, and I'll see you next time.